You want to be hardcore, you want to be extreme. Well, if you're like the Sandman, then you're listening to the podcast Drunk Wrestling History, dudes. And please be drunk when you hear it.
We've got Bush.
I like to fuck. Do you like to fuck?
It's just money shots, chairs all over Barrett.
Those guys with bang butts think they're a big deal. My dick is small.
What's up, drunk marks and drunk marquettes? Welcome to not even an episode of Ringside Refills. We're calling this a happy accident of drunk wrestling history. I'm your designated host, Adam, and they are the drunk... That's the right name. And they are the drunk wrestling historians.
This is Eddie. I intend to get fucked up if no one disagrees.
And this is Scott. For those about to drink, I'm going to pretend that there's music. There it is.
There it is.
We salute you.
It's been a while. I couldn't find the icon because I have, people who watch the YouTube the tour of the Drunkerdome saw it. I have just icons all over the front page of the iPad. And they're like little, so that is a picture of Angus Young for that one.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, where is it? I couldn't fucking find it. It's been a while since I was able to use, because last time it was all, our sound effects were all fucked up last time. So
it happens. Technical difficulties.
That's it.
Technical difficulties, happy accident. Bob Ross would be fucking proud of what we're doing today. Yes. But before we go into any details about how we ended up at this point, we want you to make sure that you get that Drunk Wrestling History t-shirt, tank top, hoodie, and onesie, especially for miniature drunk marks and drunk marquettes that you have. Make sure that you take pictures, tag us at any shows, cons, bars, orgies. Maybe you wouldn't be wearing it at an orgy because that defeats the purpose of an orgy. But
some of us wear a shirt, Adam.
Makes sense.
If you wear it during swimming, you got to wear it during fucking too.
What? Was it Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay? They had the no pants party. Someone took off their top, and the host got so pissed.
This is no pants, not no top.
Exactly.
How dare you?
But anyways, you want to get that Drunk Wrestling History t-shirt? Head over to nicholasdickhead.com.
Buy a fucking shirt.
Nobody bought buyashirt.com? Buyafuckingshirt.com?
Honestly, haven't checked since.
Dude, I fully expected you to surprise us with that tonight.
It would have been fitting for that to have a happy surprise during the happy accident episode. So nobody fucking buy that URL.
Or buy it for us as a gift.
I'll check it out. Yeah,
that would be cool too. Instead of buying a shirt, buy the domain.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll gift you with something.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. We love y'all. Maybe not that much.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just kidding. We love you that much.
We love a couple listeners that much.
A handful, yeah.
Yeah.
Some we can't stand.
You already set it up. This is the happy accident episode, so I might as well, since I'm the one with the accident, I might as well talk about what's going on this week.
We've all wiped ourselves off from his accident, so.
And it didn't involve urine this time.
Yeah.
Nope. No, it was much more polite than that.
Much more moist.
Yeah, you did mention that though when we were going through this whole fiasco and hear about if you're not peeing on recorders, you're whatever the fuck,
dunking your phone in your drink.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I almost dropped. Yeah, so I just finished it right as we came on. I was just having the last sip of an Irish coffee, and when I was in here moving shit around, I almost dropped my phone into the Irish coffee, which actually, well, you can see here on the camera, it would be a perfect fit. Like, I mean, that fits perfectly inside that.
That would,
right?
yeah. Yep.
It would have gone right in there head fucking first. And I mean, whatever, it's a waterproof phone, but it would have been if you imagine trying to clean that. It's got cream on it and fucking sugar and whiskey.
Nice.
So anyway, what happened was we were going to record tonight. Scott's schedule has changed, so he couldn't start till around 7:15, which we were like, okay, we're going to do this one episode. We've got time. We can get through it. It'll be a little rushed, but it shouldn't be bad because it wasn't going to be, we were going to do a pay-per-view, but it was going to be a relatively short pay-per-view.
And we were even going to skip one of the matches in the pay-per-view.
We were going to skip one of the matches, yeah. We weren't going to skip the Benoit match, though. That just hit me. I was like, someone's listening to this thinking, oh, there must have been a ooh match, and they're going to skip that. No, we watched that one.
That wasn't it, yeah. But in honor of it, I did go pee during it.
Perfect. It was also the most boring match of the show.
Totally agree with you, yes.
Right.
And we will get to that next week. Or the week after next when you're... Yeah.
So we get on here. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties with the new Drunkard Dome. They couldn't hear me. Everything was all fucked up. The sound was all fucked up. And we're burning time because Scott's got to get... It's 7:50. Scott's got to get out of here at 8:30.
Carissa comes in trying to see what is there a cord in the wrong spot.
And that slowed me down. Yeah. She was trying to be helpful, but it was just taking up more time. I finally figured it out, but at that point we were like, we don't have time to do a fucking pay-per-view episode.
There's no way.
So then we're just sitting here kind of goofing off, and I was like, dude, you guys just want to do an episode and just wing it with nothing prepared? So that's what we decided to do. We're like, we're already here. We're already in the StreamYard. I'm already on my third drink. Well, I am now. I just opened. I'm drinking a Jamaica cider.
I've got a Four Roses bourbon on the rocks.
It's the worst fucking bourbon, dude.
And you know what's funny is Eddie Bell gave this to me for my birthday.
Someone who knows nothing about bourbon.
He loves it. He drinks it all the time. And he's like, you got to try it, dude. It's great. It's fine. I'll sip it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's okay. I'll sip it.
Yeah.
Sarnak Shirley Temple over here.
Oh, hell yes.
Nice.
You know, say what you will. Like Shirley Temple's fucking rule, dude.
Sarnak's the fucking psychic, right?
That's
Carson.
Carmack. The great Carmack.
Karnak. Damn.
Yeah, that was Johnny Carson's guy, right?
The whole
the great Karnak, yeah.
He wear the turban and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, hold the envelope to his head.
We're dating ourselves a little bit here, folks.
Well, Adam just knows pop culture in general. You and I are old enough to have actually watched the Johnny Carson show.
I watched that many times, yes.
Yeah, that was like, I would watch that in summer, when I could stay up late.
Yeah.
But from the time I was like 8 or something, like Johnny Carson was like a fixture in my house.
Yeah, that was the guy. Yeah. Everybody's parents and grandparents fucking loved him.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't experience, the pop culture tidbits.
So anyway, we decided, let's just fucking riff on some shit. Let's just fucking wing it. And I was like, Kevin Sullivan just fucking died. You want to talk about him? And it's funny because I was like, when he died, I was like, we'll just do a brief mention of him, just because like we mostly bring him up when we goof on him.
You goof on him.
Episode. I goof. That's true. I goof on him. And also Sika died. So we were like, we could talk about that. And then let's talk about SummerSlam because that just happened a little bit. So we have nothing prepared.
Yeah, nothing. This is almost the equivalent of like giving you guys table scraps. Sorry. But that's kind of what this is. I will admit, when I heard Sika died, I immediately feared that it was the 70s porn star, Sika. And I was extremely sad. And I was a little less sad, but still sad when it turned out to be the great Sika from the WWF.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was a little less sad. I was actually not surprised, though, because we knew he'd been having health issues, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while. But then it's like, it's one of those things, right, where you hear about it, because I think the first person I saw mention it was X-Pac.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
He trained X-Pac, didn't he?
Sika did?
Or no, X-Pac, no. You know what? He didn't train X-Pac. I'm sorry. No, X-Pac trained at AWA, right?
I think so. That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know he's a Minnesota guy, but he knew Sika from they would have been in WWE at the same time, I guess. Right? Because remember, Fatu was there, and then Afa and Sika were there with him.
That's right. Yeah. Because Kid was 93.
Yes.
And the head shrinkers were there. Same. Yes.
That was the famous story that I've heard Corny tell about Fatu. Had been around for a while. I think he'd already been the Sultan, or maybe he hadn't been the Sultan yet, but he'd been there for a while. He'd been the head shrinker, and I think they did the Fatu from the streets or whatever.
That was around 95. Yeah, Make a Difference Fatu. Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing the cross colors.
Yes. Yeah.
And Vince was kind of like, okay, I've done what I can do with this guy. I'm going to cut him. And he called him into his office to cut him. He had Afa and Sika with him. He ended up keeping him and hiring Afa and Sika.
Yeah. What a mark.
Yeah, so he's trying to get rid of the one Samoan on his roster. He ends up with 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was Sika, because Sika was a huge moneymaker for his dad. And Vince was always very loyal to those guys, the guys who worked for his dad, and the guys that his dad liked. He was always really loyal to them and took good care of them. That's why.
Look how long Pat Patterson had a job, dude.
Yeah, Patterson had a job forever, basically.
He did.
Lanza was there for years. Even Tony Gurria was there for 100 years.
Shots.
Sip of cider.
I gotta open this thing.
A lot of those guys, even George the Animal was an agent.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So Sika to me has one of the most interesting backgrounds I've ever heard of from a wrestler, and I did want to get into this onto an episode. So this is a happy accident episode. I get to talk about him a little more, which is what I wanted to do, but I knew we weren't going to spend much time on him. I think I've told you this, Scott. Adam, I doubt you know this, and I don't know how many listeners know this. Those guys were from San Francisco. I assume they were from Daly City because there are a lot of Samoans there. They might have even been from the East Bay, which would be across the bay from San Francisco. And they were regulars at the Cow Palace back when Roy Shire had the San Francisco promotion, which was hot as shit for a period of time. And Patterson was there. Patterson and Ray Stevens were the 2 biggest stars for a good amount of time there. And they, for a while, were drawing more money than anybody in wrestling. Afa and Sika were insane. And Peter Maivia was there.
If you couldn't tell.
Obviously. Yeah, they were legit. They were fucking nuts.
Yeah, they were the wild Samoans for a reason.
Yeah, exactly right. It was a perfect. Yeah, that might be the most accurate gimmick of all time.
Yes.
Right? Besides, Paul Bearer was actually a mortician.
He was actually a mortician. That's right.
Yeah, right. So they would go to the Cow Palace every month, and Peter Maivia was in the territory at the time. And it was always one of those things. There'd be a hot finish where Peter Maivia gets fucked over at the end. He's bleeding and blah, blah, blah. And I heard this story years ago from Roland Alexander, who used to run APW.
R.I.P. Roland.
R.I.P. He actually bought the big time wrestling promotion from Roy Shire. He bought basically all he did was buy the name. It was Pacific Coast Sports, was like the parent company. He bought that from Roy Shire. And he told me this story, that the Samoans were notorious for whenever Peter Maivia would get fucked over at the end of the show, they would start a riot. So it was like riots were a regular, and you hear about this all the time in the South especially.
Yeah.
But riots were pretty common in the Bay Area, at the Cow Palace in particular. And it was Afa and Sika who would be there beating up every fucking buddy. They'd be attacking the wrestlers. I've heard of them beating up cops. I think one of them got arrested and was out before the show was over or something and came back.
Shit.
Yeah, it got to the point where they banned. So at the Cow Palace, it used to be just general admission. So it's like every other arena. It's a small version though, without a 200 level. So you got your floor and your one incline. Or maybe you have a second one.
So first come, first serve, whatever section.
Yeah, I think a lot of those promotions used to do the golden ring side, where it'd be like the first 5 rows you can buy for more money. And apart from that, it's just general admission. The Samoans, not just those 2 Samoans, but all Samoans got banned from sitting on the floor by the promotion. Which, can you imagine that?
For profiling you at the door?
Exactly. Yeah, so this is like the 70s. Yeah, this is you could get away with that shit in the 70s. Nope, you're Samoan, you're going upstairs. Because they were dangerous and the wrestlers were fucking afraid of them.
Oh, man.
And, I mean, can you imagine doing that now? Like,
frickin'
you go to a WWE show?
gallery treatment.
Right? And they're racially profiling you.
Day one cancellation
is so messed up.
Yeah. So they actually did this, and Peter Maivia put the Rock's mom in charge of that. Like, she was the Samoan wrangler. Like, she had to go take the Samoans when they would come in and take them to their seats upstairs and tell them to stay here.
Dude, that's crazy.
Because you guys are trouble. Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember our friend Leonard, he's Samoan. I was telling him the story before, and he was saying, they did that because women are very respected in Samoan culture. Like, they're like the mom, even if they're not your mom or a mom. Like, they'll listen to the woman. Yeah, he was like, they'll listen. If a woman tells them something, they're going to listen to them. Like, they're, that's the way, it's just Samoan culture. So, like, she didn't get the shitty job. She got the job where she was going to be the best at it. So eventually it got to the point where they were just so crazy. I don't know why they didn't just ban them altogether. They were like, do you guys want to learn to wrestle? Because we'd like to smarten you up to the business and bring you into it and make somebody some money rather than come and beat up our people and make them look like shit. So that's how this Wild Samoans got into wrestling.
Crazy.
And I think they might have gone up to Calgary because they didn't train there. They didn't train in San Francisco. They might have gone up to Calgary first, but I'd have to fact check that. I would have this in my notes if I had notes, but since this is an impromptu show, I don't have it in front of me. But they, with their look and their size and what they could do in the ring, they became huge stars everywhere they worked. And their biggest was WWE. They were, how many times were they tag champs?
I think 2
times?
2 time, and then they managed the Head Shrinkers as tag team champions.
Yeah, so they had a good run there.
Yeah,
they made a lot of money. They made Vince Sr. a lot of money.
And I believe they were with Captain Lou during their tenure as WWF tag team champions. And they still had Captain Lou when they were part of the Head Shrinkers.
Right, because Captain Lou was going to civilize them and make them wear shoes.
Oh, man. Yeah, and that became a part of that whole SummerSlam or Survivor Series match. They were like kept fucking with their boots.
Yeah, right. They wanted to take them off.
Like one of these things on our feet.
Yeah, they wanted to take them off, but they couldn't figure out how laces worked.
Yeah, they could get them on,
right?
But they couldn't get them off.
I think Lou was probably putting them on them.
You're talking. All right, we're talking about in WWF their titles.
Yes.
Yeah.
3-time champions.
3-time champions. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
And I think Albano was their manager all 3 times. Because Albano managed, what did he have? 25 tag team titles?
He was the manager of champions, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, some insane number of tag team champions.
Yep. And I believe his last set of champions were the Head Shrinkers. Bulldogs before that.
Oh, yeah, because he was gone not long after that. I mean, shit.
Correct. Yeah, that was his last run.
20 years.
Yeah.
Right. And he was kind of gone after that. And he was awesome, too. Remember that video? Or I showed you that video, right? I think we've talked about that on the show.
For the Iron Sheik?
He was drunk. Huh?
Is that when he's sticking up for Iron Sheik, or are you talking about a different video?
No, not that one. We're going to do a whole episode about that.
Okay.
No, where he was in the ring. I forget who he was wrestling. It might have been Snuka, and he was drunk. And he started blading himself, but like he's standing in the middle of the ring right in front of everybody and pulls a blade out of his pocket and just starts cutting his forehead up in full view, like taking zero care to try to hide it. You know, he was just like, whatever, I'm going to stand right here in front of everybody and cut my face up.
Fuck putting my head into the ring. I'm just going to do a fucking dead center of the ring.
Yeah, and it was, oh shit, I just clicked a thumbnail because I just clicked a thumbnail on a porn site came up. I'm not going to say why.
What's your icon for that? Is it bukkake?
No, it wasn't on the iPad. It's on the computer because I have when you just open a browser, it brings up like all your little icons for recently visited sites.
Right.
Which
was it
Pornhub? Were they going into?
It was not Pornhub. It was I think it was FUQ.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. It wasn't WikiFeet or Chatterbait.
No. It was neither of those. No, it was FUQ. I like to search all the sites at once.
I see. That's smart.
I go straight to the search engine. I know what I'm doing. Goddamn. So I mean, that was the Samoans. Like, they literally were brought into the business because they were too dangerous to be at the shows. And to the point that they were quarantined from the rest of the audience. And they were like, we'll just teach you guys how to wrestle. And then like, it's crazy because that's like the biggest wrestling family of all time by like a mile.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at how many people have come through wrestling, and they're not that relationship with The Rock and Peter Maivia, like they're not blood related. Like Maivia and the Samoans were blood brothers. So The Rock's not technically, he's not Nanawai.
Right.
And The Rock is actually adopted by Peter Maivia. He's not even blood related to Peter Maivia. So he's like twice removed from Roman Reigns. But
okay.
So take those two guys out. And look at just the actual blood relatives. So don't even count like the Tongas or any of that. Like how many of those fucking guys are there in that family tree who've been in wrestling?
Dude. Yeah, it's insane.
A dozen, 15, something like that. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, you talk about wrestling family lineage. Like that is super deep with wrestling right there.
Yeah, and it started with 2 guys who never intended to be wrestlers.
Exactly. Yeah, that we're just kind of given a chance like, hey, stop beating people up and come into the ring and do it.
Yeah, right. Come get paid to do that and leave us alone. And go to Canada to do it. Get out of San Francisco. Wherever they got sent. They got sent somewhere. I want to say it was Canada.
Dude, and you know what's funny? If you're to believe urban legend, that shit almost went down again after Roman lost to Brock. Or lost to Seth Rollins technically at 31. It sounded like they wanted to start a riot again. I mean, they're like back in their fucking hometown, where their roots are at, and they're going to fucking tear up shit again.
Why not?
Yeah, there was video, and I don't remember if it was fan video or if it was on the documentary they did about 31, but Sika you could see he was pissed sitting in the front row.
He was ready to go. He was going to start picking up his chair to fucking throw it in the ring. Like he was going to get out of hand, dude.
Yeah, he was in the front row, like on the dignitary side with his back to the hard cam, so you don't really notice him. But you can't not notice that dude. He's in a Hawaiian shirt with that giant hair. Yep. So like you saw him. I think we saw him when we were there from a mile away.
Probably, yeah.
And yeah, you could see that he was legit pissed, and they never made a story out of it or anything. Like that never made it to TV. So it was like, oh yeah, he was legit pissed. Like he thought Roman was going to win.
Still and real to him, damn it.
Yeah, and I think Roman thought he was going to win until like a few hours before the show.
Yeah.
So of course Sika thought that, and you could see why Sika would be, this is going to be my son's big fucking day, and right next to my hometown in the 49er stadium.
Yeah.
And
Yep. The fans weren't having it in 2015, but isn't it funny? Is Vince crying a little bit? He had it called all along that Roman was the next big thing. It just took 10 years to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be like,
you're right.
The fucking biggest thing is, and we'll get to SummerSlam too, but man, what a career, right? Yeah. To have that sort of decoration in the WWF and WWF, almost WWE by the time he finished up. But then they were also able to appear a few years ago. They gave Roman the lay on the stage. That was great. But yeah, legend's going, man. It sucks. And he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, so we might as well move on to Shorty K, Kevin Sullivan.
Shorty K, God damn it.
When he died the other day, I retweeted someone tweet. I don't remember. Maybe it was Flair. I retweeted somebody and I said, I goof on the guy a lot, but I recognize his accomplishments and his contribution to the business more than anything.
Yeah.
I just never got it. Like I didn't see him till like the 90s. In WC, I probably saw him in the 80s and didn't remember him,
So like Dungeon of Doom, Kevin Sullivan would have been your first. Yeah.
And it was like, the mid 90s, he's doing Dungeon of Doom when I'm like, whoa, hold on. What's going on here? Like, did we just take a step back like 8 years? And it was weird because WCW.
Yes, you did.
We did. And it was like, I was always a WWE kid. WWE was the cartoony show. WCW was the one that was not cartoony. And then suddenly I'm seeing this shit. I'm like, yeah, it was weird, but it was just him. It wasn't I guess for a while they had Arachnaman and all this shit. But I was just like, what's going on over here on this channel with this dude? And
they were doing the best they could with what they had. And the best that they had was Hogan and Macho Man. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, okay, how do we work with what we've got? Let's just put a whole bunch of heels together, run back what Vince did in the 80s and bring every monster out of retirement and out of the shadows and have them face Hulk Hogan. Let's just put fodder in front of Hogan and Macho Man, have them run through them. And that's kind of what they did. Like every show seemed about the Dungeon of Doom trying to stop Hulkamania. It was just like you said, they pulled it back 8 years and they were trying to run it back to what Vince did.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And then I didn't know for a while that he was doing that weird occult shit way before that. Like that started in like
Florida. He was doing that shit in Florida, yeah.
Yes, he was the fucking Prince of Darkness and shit.
Yes, he had the X on his head and
he did the weird face paint and everything. And he come out in the cloak,
yes.
and the hood on his head and everything. And sometimes he'd have the face painted halfway, like Roddy Piper.
Like Roddy Piper, at 6.
Oh. Yeah. Right, and he'd have all like the punk rock fucking collar, like a dog collar and all this shit. Yeah. He was a trippy dude, which it was part of that was like the 80s was the Satanic Panic, which is I think why part of that got over, that was when all that shit was going on, right? So the timing of it was actually pretty good, the early 80s, like Slayer's doing all these songs and Iron Maiden's
Backwards Records and fucking PMRC and all that bullshit with parents freaking out about the devil and Satan and shit. And
Judas Priest said do it in reverse on the fucking song.
Exactly. Yeah, Ozzy's telling you to go kill yourself. Yeah, dude, it was the whole thing. But he was able
starting of pop culture conspiracies. I could picture that like late 70s into 80s.
Yeah, and Kevin Sullivan just capitalized on that and he ran with it and made people afraid of him because that was kind of the time.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't see that at the time. I never saw Florida Championship Wrestling till I don't even know, YouTube probably.
I only knew about it through wrestling magazines.
Yeah,
I never got it on TV.
And I'd seen pictures and little clips later on in like the 90s. And at the time it seemed cheesy, but when you think about it in the context of the early 80s, it actually made a lot of sense. It was actually a pretty fucking clever gimmick. As weird and dumb as it looked 15, 20 years later, the timeliness of it really is what made it.
Yeah.
And he was over, brother. Like that dude drew money. He drew money in Florida. He was a big fucking star there.
And not only did he draw money as a talent, but he drew money later on booking the whole NWO thing with Eric Bischoff. Mm-hmm. Like you listen to those guys like Kevin Nash, you listen to Eric Bischoff, he was a great mind for wrestling and he made them a shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, you can look at what he did with Dungeon of Doom and call it like, that's kind of dated, that shit he was doing. But dude, he had a great mind for the business. He really did.
Yeah, and that's what pretty much anyone who ever worked with him will say exactly that. He had a great mind for the business. He could work, he understood psychology, but he could book too. And I know he took over the book in WCW was, I want to say 2000. I actually just watched the Who Killed WCW yesterday, and I think it was around then. And that was around the time where people I knew who loved WCW and then were saying how much it sucked were like, oh, it's pretty good again. It's getting better. And that was when Sullivan was in charge. So
and I don't know when he lost it, because I remember everybody recalls that match with Pillman, the I Quit match where Pillman said, I respect you, Booker man. Right. Mm-hmm. So Sullivan had the book at that point, and that was like 1995, I believe, because Pillman jumped ship in like 96.
Yeah, I've got this on Wikipedia right now, so I'm cheating. He actually didn't take over as head booker till 2000.
That's when he officially had it?
Yeah, that's when they actually made him the head booker. But he was like in there before, you know what I mean? He was in there prior to that. Like,
but he was in the war room, like making decisions or helping make decisions. And yeah. Yes. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. He'd be in the production meetings and all that shit.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
So he was a behind the scenes guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. And he did, right. So like that was, he put over Pillman, you know what I mean? And he worked with Benoit and guys like that. So he kind of got into that point where he was like, okay, he was kind of, I think I could do something with this guy, you know, I can make this kid, stuff like that. And it was one of those, it's that classic giving back to the business, right? Like I'm the older dude, you know, like my days of drawing huge money are behind me, but I can still draw pretty well with these new guys and make them, you know, bump them up a couple notches on the show.
Right. And I think ultimately with the Dungeon Doom, that's what he was doing for Hogan. You know, he's just trying to draw money for Hogan, you know, make him look like a super strong champion and just kept feeding him guys, you know.
Just
so
put
yeah,
him in a different visual facet with an actual dungeon. Makes sense to me just being introduced to that. Yeah.
Right. And then look at the guys he got jobs. I mean, Big Show, right? That was one of the guys in the Dungeon of Doom, you know, the Yeti.
I was going to say the Yeti, who was actually a mummy.
Brought back Kamala. The Yeti.
But
brought back Kamala. He got Earthquake a job as the Shark. I mean, he was giving back to the business as well. King Iakea, he got him back in. Huh?
Was the Shark his idea?
Kevin Sullivan's?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Shit happens. Fucking running around like this. Like Shark Boy loved it, apparently.
Yeah, it was the biggest botch of his career.
Oops.
Yeah.
So yes, R.I.P. One of the great minds of the business. Even though Eddie, you talk a lot of shit about him, still respect what he did.
I will continue to.
Of course, just like Don West.
No, I don't even mention Don West.
There's
no reason for Don West to come up, but at some point we're going to watch a WCW show,
right?
You know,
or TNA,
or TNA, yeah.
Now that it's back to TNA,
he also killed Ooh and his wife and kid.
That's a whole other conspiracy theory. Some people buy into. Tom Brady.
Yeah, apparently Tom Brady thinks that. What the fuck kind of comment? Does he actually? Do you think Tom Brady actually thinks that, or do you think he was?
No press is bad press. He's just looking to get attention, dude.
Yeah, like that's like a joke I would have made. But Tom Brady was actually a wrestler. You know what I mean? You think Tom Brady would show more respect than I would?
He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. I mean,
I guess not.
What's he going to lose some independent booking because of it? He don't care.
I mean, I guess when you get called Salvatore Sincere and have to wear that fucking hat, you might be a little bitter toward wrestling.
Did he try to steal the Patriot gimmick too? I might be getting him confused with somebody else.
I think it was somebody did. There was like a bootleg Patriot.
Yeah. Del Wilkes was the original, but I think like Tom Brady tried to steal it or something.
Yeah, because I think he went fucking cuckoo. Del Wilkes.
Oh, okay,
right?
gotcha.
Yeah, he was like a junkie. after he left WWE.
Oh shit! Okay,
and I think that's when you're thinking of is after that
when Tom Brady. Okay, got it.
Somebody did for sure. Yeah, maybe it wasn't Tom Brady, but somebody for sure did try to steal the Patriot gimmick, which is like of all the gimmicks. I guess he wears a mask.
Yeah,
like of all the gimmicks, you're gonna steal the Patriot.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I would have probably gone Conquistadors, but if you're gonna take the Patriot, that's pretty good too.
Yeah. It's like when Gallagher's brother called himself Gallagher and went out on the road as Gallagher.
Right.
Because he looked like him.
Right.
Yeah, then Gallagher sued him and he had to start calling himself Gallagher too.
He only had to buy a giant hammer.
Yeah, right.
That's all I needed.
Giant hammer
Some
and a couple
watermelons.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I love it.
What a joke that shit was. I wonder if he's still on the road because I don't think he's dead. Gallagher's dead, but I don't think Gallagher 2 is dead.
Not Gallagher 2. No, he's not dead.
Alive?
As far as I know, he's still alive.
I never got to see Gallagher 1. Like, let's go see Gallagher 2. You get front row. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like going to a Guar show.
Right. So we got 15 minutes to talk about SummerSlam.
He's still around.
Yeah, okay. All right. So SummerSlam, I was pretty buzzed by the end of it. But I remember most of it.
I ordered the wrong fucking shirt because I was fucking hammered during that show.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get right to that. So Roman comes back. So you and Shannon came over. Adam was in Disneyland, so he wasn't able to come over.
Technically, I was at a birthday party, but the trip was also involved Disneyland. Yeah.
Well, every trip involves Disneyland. Adam's like, I was on the moon, but I stopped at Disneyland on the way.
That's true. On the way to Philly and the Amish buffet, Disneyland was involved. So. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It always is.
Yeah.
So you guys came over. We watched it out in the backyard. And I was making margaritas from the time it started. And what'd you have? We had 3 margaritas each, but those were I was putting doubles in those.
Yeah, those were good, dude.
Okay, so we were feeling pretty. Then we did a shot of tequila. I got my birthday tequila, but I went a little light on it. I usually get something pretty expensive. I went kind of cheap. I just got Casamigos because I bought this monitor. So I was like, oh, okay. And the AirPods. But yeah, we hung out back there, watched it. We made tri-tip sandwiches and got drunk. And it was a good time. And
it was great.
Yeah, Roman shows up at the end in that shirt with it said OTC. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what is this, over the counter? Like he's a fucking pharmacist or some shit now?
Neither of us guessed it because we were so fucking hammered.
Yeah, and then you figured it out and you're like, I'm fucking buying that right now. And you pull your phone, I'm buying you one. I'm like, dude, you don't have to buy me one because you brought me a bottle of fucking, you brought me a 4-pack of Dragon's Milk.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you got me a fucking pretty pricey beer for my birthday. Don't worry about it. You don't need to buy me a shirt. I'm buying you a fucking shirt. All right. And then you ordered the wrong shirt somehow.
I did.
Yeah, I did. That's cool that you returned it though.
I corrected it. I got to return it, so I got the correct shirt coming. They're back ordered. That doesn't come into like early September or some shit.
Yeah, that's what always happens when they have a new one like that.
Yeah, and I mean, look,
especially if it's someone like that.
Across the board, SummerSlam was predictable. But you know what? If you're booking properly, sometimes your shows are going to be like that. And it's predictable in the best way. Did we all know that Dom was going to go with Liv? Of course we fucking did. Did we all know that Roman was going to return? Of course we fucking did. Did it make it any less special or exciting? Fuck no. It was incredible. I loved every minute of it. I love wrestling, dude. And I love when it's booked properly to the point where even if it's predictable, it's still a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, sometimes the predictable thing is the right thing to do.
100%.
Imagine how pissed everyone...
Because then you could leave satisfied instead of confused or angry.
Right, imagine how mad everyone would have been if Cody lost at WrestleMania this year. That wouldn't have been predictable. It would have been a surprise, but it would have been a shit ending.
The 100% wrong call.
Daniel Bryan went into 30 and lost. You know what I mean? That would have been shocking, but it would have been the worst way to book that show.
Yes.
So sometimes a predictable thing is the right thing to do. I heard Jim Ross talk about that one time, and he actually made a pretty interesting comparison. He was like, why does everything have to be predictable? You watch baseball, and you know that pitcher's going to throw another pitch. That's predictable, but you watch it because it's entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't subscribe to that everything has to be a swerve shit at all.
Completely agree.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
you see people online talk about that. Oh, everything that I thought was going to happen happened. It sucked. It's like, shut up.
No, who cares if that's what you thought was going to happen? You saw it play out, and it was fucking great.
Yeah,
because now think of the storylines that come from that. I mean, Dom and Liv are going to be awesome the next 6 months to a year. That's going to be great storyline.
How Judgment Day has fallen apart somehow into two branches.
Yes.
And that was something that I think had to happen. I think they were doing the Dom as a heel, Rhea as a babyface for a year, you know? I mean, like last year at WrestleMania, Rhea came out a babyface because they booed the fuck out of Charlotte.
Yeah.
And cheered Rhea when she won. So it'd been that way for a year. How long can you really do that? And either he drags her down or she turns him face, which Dom is a fucking great heel. The last
fantastic.
thing he would do is turn him babyface.
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point that had to happen. And Priest was the same way. He was just so cool. Priest is like Razor Ramon. You know what I mean? He gets in the ring and just so fucking cool.
He's
like,
cool.
Not cheer
It's
for him?
natural. Yes.
Yeah, of course people are going to start
build.
liking him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you put him on a win streak and have him start kicking people's ass, win the title. Of course he's going to turn babyface. So you had to get him away from Judgment Day or turn the whole faction face, which is always a little weird in the first place. But Finn is great as a heel.
Yes.
JD fucking Funko is completely unlikable. And Carlito is great as just like the fucking clown
card.
of the group.
Yeah.
Not even the wild card. He's just like the fucking douchebag hanger-on. You know what I mean? Like
why is he here? But then he's entertaining. So
right, it works great. It's really good. So like Judgment Day are fucking awesome together. They've been the best part of Raw for a year.
yeah.
So yeah, you didn't want to split them up. So that was totally predictable. You're right. Roman coming back was completely predictable. The least predictable thing was Nia fucking winning.
That was
the worst
awful.
part of the show.
Hated
Awful.
it. Hated it.
Fucking hated it.
Yep.
It was terrible. Yeah. But other than that, it was a great show. It was great. Triple H kicked it off. It was great seeing Steph.
Yes.
I could have done without fucking. I could have done without fucking Jelly Roll.
Agree.
You know, I never really like when I never really like it when I don't know. I don't like when they have musical acts in the first fucking place unless it's Rockin' Robin. And then and then you come in and you just bury fucking who did he beat up? He beat up Theory
Austin Theory
Waller, right?
and Grayson Waller. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know. The crowd fucking likes it and they get a big pop, but I don't know.
I could do without it, dude. I wouldn't have minded seeing Machine Gun Kelly take a power bomb or two or three.
Yeah, from,
cool.
like out of the stadium, like who
from the
was
roof.
That Big Show.
Yeah,
was it for the roof? Was that Big Show that went off the roof? Yeah, they could have done it. Yeah, toss him right into that fucking lake.
Right. Throw him into the sea.
Yeah, right. Yeah, him and fucking Jelly Roll.
Yeah, both of them.
Jelly Roll should have come out in overalls like fucking Haystack Calhoun,
eating jelly rolls.
eating jelly rolls. Yeah. No, he should have come out in overalls and gotten married in the ring. But yeah, it was a good show. God. I liked it.
Crazy thing, result of SummerSlam is that now literally every champion or everyone that exited WrestleMania as champion has all lost their title except for Cody.
Yeah, right.
Shit,
Dude,
yeah.
it was hella.
Yeah.
It was like, did every title change hands?
Every title has changed hands since.
From WrestleMania.
From the results of WrestleMania.
No. At SummerSlam,
no,
did
Liv retained.
No,
Liv retained.
Oh, you're right. Liv retained.
And
I
so
know
did Cody.
did. I was going to say besides Cody, I forgot Liv retained. Okay.
Yeah.
But there were like 3 or 4 title changes because Nia fucking won.
LA Knight won.
LA Knight won.
LA Knight, yeah. Gunther.
Yeah. Was there a tag title?
No.
They were involved.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right.
They only gave DIY 29 days. Damn.
Was it that long?
They only gave that
like
to I think the only reason DIY got that is they wanted to do something special for the Garden because that was at the Garden, right?
No, it was.
Sure
wait. Yeah, they lost him in Ohio. So yeah, I think they did it at the Garden.
I'm pretty sure they wanted it at the Garden. I think it was let's do something special for the Garden.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they send Johnny Wrestling to Cleveland to fucking lose.
His
that was so wrong, dude. In front of his wife and kid.
Yeah. Vince did some things right. That was a fucking Vince move right there.
Oh, totally.
You know? Yeah. At least he didn't make him kiss someone's ass. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about SummerSlam, not having had notes.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Predictable booking, when done correctly, because you've told a great story up to that point, is entirely acceptable and at the same time, fucking hell of enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about SummerSlam. Except for fucking Nia Jax.
Yeah. and it being in Cleveland.
And yes, also that.
Actually, Cleveland's pretty cool. I went there for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was actually kind of cooler than I expected it to be. I actually kind of liked Cleveland.
Right. It's far away, but Cleveland
it's far
does
away.
rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's far away, but like, and they were saying how humid it was. So I was like,
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. I don't like this SummerSlam in the stadium bullshit. If they're going to do that, they should only do it in California. It's the only place.
Or domed stadiums that have climate control.
Or dome stadiums. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, Minneapolis has that. So
yeah,
they're doing the one in Minneapolis in 2 years.
Nah, they can do SummerSlam there. It's fine. Not WrestleMania.
No, that's what they're doing. They're doing SummerSlam there.
Perfect. Not WrestleMania.
Yeah, in 2 years. Right, they were gonna get WrestleMania, and then Vegas fucking swooped in and slurped them.
Yeah,
and then they were like, "Oh fuck, we'll just give you SummerSlam."
They got the consolation prize. Yeah,
yeah, right. They got the participation trophy.
Like our listeners getting this table scrap episode. Minnesota got table scraps of a show.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, this is an extra episode. This is an episode they wouldn't have gotten.
It goes in the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so proud. The improv that the two of you created, that means a lot. You really entertain our listeners today with your improv skills. We just need to put you on stage now.
On stage.
We do our best.
Yep. So that takes care of our impromptu happy accident episode. What did you think of this happy accident? Did you get moist as well? Please let us know on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the alternates handle is wrestling_drunk. Tell your family, friends, heels and faces to like, share, and subscribe. Leave us reviews so that algorithm things can go in our way. And I mean, we've now experienced this happy accident. We will now see how everyone everyone will tell us their reactions, and maybe we could have another happy accident and not be ashamed and not have to awkwardly walk away.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, I'm 50. I don't need any happy accidents.
With Eddie and Scott, I'm Adam, reminding all of you to enjoy your buzz, watch wrestling responsibly, drink like nobody's watching. We will see you all next time for another great episode. 1, 2, 3. That's a happy little bush.
Dive.
God damn it, Naya.
Yeah, fuck her.
Frickin' Naya.